Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Vishnuke Bhagavati Naishtiki. Continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, Chapter 2, The Chastisement of Junior Haridas, text 134 onwards. So even Parmanand Puri, who is god brother of Ishwar Puri, he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to forgive Chota Haridas, but Mahaprabhu wasn't ready to. आस्ते व्यस्ते पूरे गोसाई प्रभु आगे गेला अनुन्यकारी प्रभु रे घरे वसाईला. In great haste, Parmanand Puri Gosai went before him, before Lord Chaitanya, and with great humility persuaded him to sit down in his room. Because Mahaprabhu was ready to leave to go to Alalnath. He said, "You're going to come here and keep on disturbing me. तुम्हारी इच्छा कर स्वतंत्र ईश्वर केवल की बलिते पारे तुम्हारे ऊपर." Paramanand Puri said, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, you are the independent personality of Godhead. You can do whatever you like. Who can say anything about you? Lokahit lagi tomar sab vyavahar ami sab na jani gambhir hriday tomar." All your activities are for the benefit of people in general. We cannot understand them, for your intentions are deep and grave. Ete bali puri gosain gela nij sthane, Haridas sthane gela sab bhakta gane. After saying this, Parmanand Puri Gosai left for his own home. Then all the devotees went to see Junior Haridas. Sarup Gosai kahe shuna Haridas, sabe tomar hit vanchi kara vishvasa. Sarup Damodar Gosai said, "Please hear us, Haridas, for we all wish you well. Please believe this. Prabhu hate padiyache swatantra Ishwara, kabhu kripa kariben jate dayalu antar." At present, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is persisting in his mood of anger because he is the supreme, he is the independent supreme personality of Godhead. At some time, however, he will surely be merciful, for at heart he is very kind. Tumi hat kaile tar hat se badi snan bhojan kar apane krodha jaye. The Lord is persisting, and if you also persist, his persistence will increase. It is better for you to bathe and take prasadam. In due course, his anger will automatically subside. Etavali tare snan bhojan karaya apana bhavana aila tare ashvasiya. Having said this, Swarup Damodar Goswami induced Haridas to bathe and take prasadam. After thus reassuring him, he returned home. Prabhu yadi yan Jagannath darshane dure rahi Haridas karena darshane. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Jagannath in the temple, Haridas would stay a long distance away and see him. Mahaprabhu kripa sindhu ke pare bujite priya bhakte danda karen dharma bujhaite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the ocean of mercy. Who can understand him? When he chastises his dear devotees, he certainly does so to re-establish the principles of religion or duty. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says in this connection that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the ocean of mercy, chastised Junior Haridas, although Junior Haridas was his dear devotee, to establish that one in the devotional life, engaged in pure devotional service, should not be a hypocrite. For a person engaged in devotional service in the renounced order, having intimate relationships with women is certainly hypocrisy. This chastisement was given to Junior Haridas as an example to future Sahajiyas who might adopt the dress of the renounced order to imitate Rup Goswami and other bona fide sannyasis, but secretly have illicit connections with women. To teach such men, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised his dear devotee Haridas for a slight deviation from the regulative principles. Srimati Madhvi Devi was a highly elevated devotee. Therefore, approaching her to ask for some rice to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was certainly not very offensive. Nevertheless, just to preserve the regulative principles for the future, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enforced the hard and fast rule that no one in the renounced order should intimately mix with women. Had Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not chastised Junior Haridas for this slight deviation, so-called devotees of the Lord would have exploited the example of Junior Haridas to continue their habit of illicit connections with women unrestrictedly. Indeed, they still preach that such behavior is allowed for a Vaishnava, but it is strictly not allowed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a teacher of the entire world, and therefore he enforced this exemplary punishment to establish that illicit sexual connections are never allowed by Vaishnava philosophy. This was his purpose in chastising Junior Haridas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in fact the most magnanimous incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he strictly prohibited illicit sex. So just to establish this principle, of course, we'll read further, Mahaprabhu never actually disowned Chota Haridas. But to establish the principle, he was very strict with Junior or Chota Haridas. Dekhi tras upajila sab bhakta gane swapne chadila sabe stri sambhashan. After all the devotees saw this example, a mentality of fear grew among them. Therefore, they all stopped talking with women, even in dreams. In connection with Stri Sambhashan, talking with women, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that talking with women for the purpose of mingling with them for sense gratification, subtle or gross, is strictly prohibited. Chanakya Pandit, the great moral instructor, says, Matravat Paradaresh. Thus, not only a person in the renounced order or one engaged in devotional service, but everyone should avoid mingling with women. One should consider another's wife as his mother. Ei mate Haridasera ek vatsar gela, tabu Mahaprabhura mane, prasada nahila. In this way, a complete year passed for Junior Haridas, but still there was not a sign of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy towards him. Ratri avasheshe prabhure dandavataya, prayagete gela kare kichuna baliya. Thus, at the end of one night, Junior Haridas, after offering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his respectful obeisances, departed for Prayag without saying anything to anyone. Prabhu Pad Prapti Lagi Sankalpa Karila Triveni Pravesh Kari Prana Chadila. Junior Haridas had conclusively decided to retain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus he entered deep into the water at Triveni, the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna at Prayag, and in this way gave up his life. Seikhane Divya Dehe Prabhu Sthane Aila, Prabhu Kripa Paya Antara Dhanai Rahila. Immediately after committing suicide in this way, he went in his spiritual body to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and received the mercy of the Lord. However, he still remained invisible. Gandharva Dehe Gana Kare Nantar Dhane, Ratre Prabhure Shunai, Gita Anya Nahi Jai. In a spiritual body resembling that of a Gandharva, Junior Haridas, although invisible, would sing at night for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear. No one but the Lord, however, knew of this. So this way Mahaprabhu still kept him in his service, but not otherwise. एक दिन महाप्रभु पुछिल भक्त गण, हरिदास कहाँ तारे आना खान. One day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from the devotees, where is Haridas? Now you may bring him here. सबे कहे हरिदास वर्ष पूर्ण दीने, रात्रे उठी कहाँ गेला के नहीं जाने. The devotees all replied, one night at the end of a full year, Junior Haridas got up and went away. No one knows where he has gone. शुनि महाप्रभु ईशत हासी अरहीला, सब भक्त गण मने विस्मय हई. While hearing the devotees lament, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was mildly smiling, because all the devotees were very much astonished. एक दिन जगदानंद स्वरूप गोविंद, काशीश्वर शंकर दामोदर मुकुंद. समुद्र स्नाने गेला सबे, शुने कठ दूरे, हरिदास गायन ये ना डाकी कंठ स्वरे. One day Jagadanand, Swarup, Govinda, Kashishwar, Shankar, Damodar and Mukunda all went to bathe in the sea. They could hear Haridas singing from a distant place as if calling them in his original voice. मनुष्य न देखे मधुर गीत मात्र शूने, गोविंदा भी सबे मेली कैला अनुमाने. No one could see him, but they could hear him singing in a sweet voice. Therefore, all the devotees, headed by Govinda, made this guess. विषाणी खाया हरिदास आत्मघात कहिला, सही पापे जानी ब्रह्म राक्षस हईला. Haridas must have committed suicide by drinking poison, and because of this sinful act, he has now become a Brahman ghost, Brahma Rakshas. Actually, this is what happens if a devotee commits suicide, because suicide is a very sinful activity. We have a certain life to live. Suicide means we are stopping that. And so it's considered very sinful. So the person, if it is a regular person, non-devotee, then he becomes a ghost, because his next gross body is not ready yet. And if a devotee commits suicide, then he becomes a Brahma Rakshas or a Brahman ghost. He won't be committing all those ghostly activities the other ghosts do, but still his next body is not ready yet. But in this case, Mahaprabhu's mercy, he got a spiritual body and he could come to Mahaprabhu and sing for his pleasure. So there's a difference. But that doesn't mean we start committing suicides. And like, okay, Haridas, Chota Haridas, he broke some principles, fine. So as it is mentioned, for us, atonement, some atonement has to be there. And atonement is what? Chanting of the holy names. Chant more. And make a promise not to commit that sinful activity again. But not to commit suicide, definitely not. आकार न देखी मात्र शुनि तार गान, स्वरूप कहे नहीं मिथ्यानुमान. We cannot see his material form, they said, but still we hear his sweet singing. Therefore, he must have become a ghost. Swarup Damodar, however, protested. This is a false guess. Ajanma Krishna Kirtan Prabhu Rasevana, Prabhu Kripa Patra Kshetrera Maran. Junior Haridas chanted the Hare Krishna mantra throughout his entire life and served the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. However, he is dear to the Lord and has died in a holy place. Durgati na hai tar sadgati se hai, Prabhu bhangi yehi pache janiba nishai. Haridas cannot have been degraded. He must have attained liberation. This is a pastime of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will all understand it later. प्रयाग हाइते एक वैष्णव नवद्वीप आईला हरिदासेर वार्ता तेहो सवारे कहीला. A devotee returned to Navdeep from Prayag and told everyone the details of Julia Haridas's suicide. Yaiche Sankalpa Yaiche Triveni Praveshila Shuni Shri Vasadira Mane Vismay Haila. He explained how Junior Haridas had made his resolution and had thus entered the waters at the confluence of the Yamuna and Ganga. Hearing these details, Srivas Thakur and the other devotees were very surprised. Varshantare Shivananda Sabha Bhaktalaya Prabhu Remi Lila Asi Ananditahaya. At the end of the year, Shivanand Sen came to Jagannath Puri as usual, accompanied by the other devotees, and thus in great happiness met Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haridas kaha yadi Shrivasa puchila, swakarma phala bhuk bhuman prabhoptara dila. When Srivas Thakur inquired from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where is Junior Haridas? The Lord replied, a person is sure to achieve the results of his fruitive activities. Tabe Shrivas Tara Vritanta Kahila, Yaiche Sankalpa Yaiche Triveni Praveshila. Then Srivas Thakur related the details of Haridas's decision and his entering the waters at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna. Shuni Prabhu hasi kahe suprasanna chitta prakriti darshan kaile prayashita. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard these details, he smiled in a pleased mood and said, if with sensual intentions one looks at women, this is the only process of atonement. Swarupadi Melitabe Vichar Karila Triveni Prabhave Haridas Prabhupada Paila. Then all the devotees, headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami, concluded that because Haridas had committed suicide at the confluence of the rivers Ganga and Yamuna, he must have ultimately attained shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur remarks that after one adopts the renounced order and accepts the dress of either a sannyasi or a bhavaji, if he entertains the idea of sense gratification, especially in relationship with a woman, the only atonement is to commit suicide at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna, or Prayag. Only by such atonement can his sinful life be purified. If such a person is thus punished, it is possible for him to attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without such punishment, however, the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very difficult to regain. Antya Lila kare Shachira Nandana Yaha Shuni Bhakta Ganera Yudai Karnaman. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Shachi, performs his pastimes, which greatly satisfy the ears and minds of pure devotees who hear about him. Apan karunya loke vairagya shikshan swabhakter gada anurag prakriti karan. This incident manifests the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His teaching that a sannyasi should remain in the renounced order and the deep attachment to him felt by his faithful devotees. Tirthera Mahima Nij Bhakti Atmasat Ek Lila Karen Prabhu Kare Panchashat. It also demonstrates the glories of holy places and shows how the Lord accepts his faithful devotee. Thus the Lord fulfilled 5 or 7 purposes by performing one pastime. Madhura Chaitanya Lila Samudra Gambhira Loke Nahi Bujhe Bujhe Ei Bhakta Dhira. Pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like nectar, and they're deep like the ocean. People in general cannot understand them, but a sober devotee can. Vishwas Kariya Shun Chaitanya Charita Tarka Na Kariha Tarke Abe Viparita. Please hear the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and confidence. Do not argue, therefore arguments will produce a contrary result. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jara Asha Chaitanya Charita Marita Kahe Krishna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rup and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So, this is last verse. So, instructions from this chapter. Summarizing this chapter, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that one should derive from it the following lessons. Although Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is an incarnation of mercy, he nevertheless gave up the company of one of his personal associates, namely Junior Haridas. For if he had not done so, pseudo-devotees would have taken advantage of Junior Haridas's fault by using it as an excuse to live as devotees and at the same time have illicit sexual connections. Such activities would have demoralized the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as a result, devotees would surely have gone to a hellish life in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Second, by chastising Junior Haridas, the Lord set the standard for acharyas, or the heads of institutions, propagating the Chaitanya cult, and for all actual devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to maintain the highest standard. Third, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed that a pure devotee should be simple and free from sinful activities, for thus one can be his bona fide servant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his followers how to observe the renounced order strictly. 4. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to prove that his devotees are exalted and their character is ideal. He kindly accepts his faithful devotees and teaches them how much tribulation and disturbance can be produced by even a slight deviation from the strict principles of devotional life. And actually, these strict principles not only are not only limited to man-woman relationships. It's for everything, whether it comes to breaking the four regulative principles, or lying, or deceiving, or cheating, or committing Vaishnava offense. It's a complete no-no. So very high standards one has to live by. By chastising Junior Haridas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his mercy towards him, thus showing how elevated was Junior Haridas's devotion for him. Because of this transcendental relationship, the Lord corrected even a slight offense committed by his pure devotee. Therefore, one who wants to be a pure devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should give up all material sense gratification. Otherwise, the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very difficult to attain. 6. If one dies in such a celebrated holy place as Prayag, Mathura, or Vrindavan, one can be relieved of the reactions to sinful life and then attain the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although a pure or faithful devotee may fall down, he nevertheless ultimately gets a chance to go back home, back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. And actually, Mahaprabhu was strict, but Nityananda Prabhu is more merciful. People tried to beat him, hit him, whether Jagai Mathai or the gang of thieves, but he still forgave them all. Not just forgave them, gave them Krishna Prema or Gauranga Prema. And then Srila Prabhupada is even more merciful, because Nityananda Prabhu's mercy was only for Bengali and Odia in that area. Srila Prabhupada came all over the world and gave his mercy to devotees all over. So very, very thankful to Prabhupada for giving us this, first these nectarian books, and then his own shelter that he has given, that you take it and just chant. That's it. And you'll come, I'll take you back, he said. Okay, I guess we can stop there. Thus ends this chapter. Tomorrow we'll start chapter 3, the glories of Srila Haridas Thakur. the Bada Haridas. Okay, see anybody has any questions or comments?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी, ये जो हम लोग गुरु या किसी संत को जो समाधि देते हैं ना, तो इज दैट अ रिचुअल दैट द पावर ऑफ गुरु, बिकॉज वो कभी कहीं जाते नहीं, उनका जो ऑरा है या पावर है वो हमेशा भौतिक संसार में रहे। इज दैट द रीजन दे हैव बीन गिवन समाधि अंडर द beneath द अर्थ, ऐसे करके जगह बना के?
Um, Power rahe ya samadhi. Samadhi means he's in meditation. So
हम्म।
meditation on the Supreme Lord. And at the same time, when we go do some service or do the parikrama or whatever, arti, then we also get the mercy of that spiritually advanced person. And also another reason for samadhis, for gurus and sannyasis also, see, they are not attached to the body. They already liberated actually, even when they are in the body. But since we as grihasthas or not so advanced, we are attached. So we get cremated. So that way the soul's connection with the body is gone. But in those cases of elevated, spiritually elevated souls, their attachment is not there. So they're not that they're going to come back in that body and or they'll be roaming around becoming ghost. No. So that's also the reason they get the samadhi because the soul is not attached to the body. Soul is already gone to dham or wherever the higher destination, and and also at the same time when we go, we get the mercy of that person. But still, when the samadhi is given, the body, physical body, is covered with salt. Lots of salt is put there. Why? So that the body is decomposed fast. And so means the insects won't eat that body because it's very disrespectful. And body should get decomposed. But as you said, the aura is there. It is still there.
And just one more, in addition to this, Prabhuji, there is another form of samadhi, is a jal samadhi. So
Yeah.
if we talk about jal samadhi, wahan pe we cannot put salt on the body, and then again, when the body is submerged in that, whatever it could be, river or something, um, insect will eat it, right? The body. Then what happens?
See,
It's a
in that
disrespect.
case, the body gets dissolved right away because of the potency. Like in, I believe it's Narottam Das Thakur. He was given Jal Samadhi, and they were seeing that his body was like dissolving, merging in the water. Slowly, slow. As they were pouring water on his body, the body was getting merged, dissolved.
Mm. But anyway, once it's touched the bottom of the river, insect or all the what we call the jeev jantus of that river will eat it, no, the body.
Yeah, so that is not very respectful of the body.
I've myself seen it, Prabhuji, in Saryu River. A body of a sadhu was, like while I was on a boat, I've seen it myself. And I've asked also the boatman that how long this will continue to, be in the river. So he said that maybe 24 hours or maybe for as long as the body is not, होता नहीं है प्रभु जी, 1 या 2 दिनों के बाद the body will become more weight, it gains more weight because of you know the body सड़ने लगती है या कुछ होने लगता है बॉडी के अंदर, तो वो फिर then that kind of thing I think.
Yeah, but that is for so ordinary persons,
Yeah,
not for spiritually advanced.
not for sadhu ji. Yeah.
नहीं प्रभु जी, इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा एक मिनट एक बताऊंगी। हमारे यहाँ पे एक आश्रम है और वहाँ पे संत थे, बहुत उच्च कोटि के माने जाते थे। है वो शंकराचार्य के। वहां से जब वो उन्होंने अपना शरीर त्यागा तो उनको हरिद्वार में ले जाकर के जैसे वो जल समाधि दी गई, और उसमें बहुत बड़े बड़े पत्थरों से बांधा गया था उनको, उनकी बॉडी को, मतलब समाधि के ही रूप में उसमें रखे बैठे हुए थे। और बहुत सारे बहुत बड़े बड़े स्टोन्स लेकर के, ताकि वो इमीडिएटली जो है बिल्कुल पानी के अंदर समा जाए। इट वॉज नॉट दैट कि स्लोली ग्रेजुअली वो अपने टाइम लेके जाएंगे नीचे। बहुत बड़े बड़े स्टोन्स के साथ, मतलब वेट उनको बॉडी के साथ बांध दिया गया था ताकि वो नीचे एकदम से चले जाए।
I'll tell you, Mataji, why
Yeah.
usually what happens is after death, the lungs, they keep the body afloat on the water. Yeah, in any normal person. तो उनको स्टोन से इसलिए बांधा गया क्योंकि the weight of the stone would basically pull the body down. Otherwise the normal body, because of the lungs, वो float करेगी ना। जब तक the internal milieu, you see, body ज़्यादा concentrated है compared to the water outside. So the water then tries to get inside the body, and the lungs make it even lighter. So body afloat करती है in the first 20 to 30 hours. It doesn't drown per se. तो उनको drown करने के लिए वो stone, this is pure physics. उनको stone से इसलिए बांधा गया so that the buoyancy of the lungs, basically to combat the buoyancy of the lungs.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is for normal, regular people.
मुझे तो
But
प्रभु जी यही
like
अच्छा लगता है।
Narottam Das Thakur's incident, as they were pouring water on him and his body was getting dissolved.
Wow.
So anyway, we
Thank
keep
you.
on chanting and hopefully something will happen to us all when we leave the body. Sorry, you were saying something, Vinay Prabhu?
No, I was just saying, तो बहुत अच्छा explanation आपने दिया प्रभु जी, so clear कि क्यों करते हैं and why we do it. So it's clearly explained, प्रभु जी. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
You all have a safe and wonderful day.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.